Why is scalp micropigmentation needle depth so important? Imagine creating the illusion of thicker hair with tiny, perfectly placed dots. The secret to making those dots look natural and last long lies in how deep the needle goes into the skin. In scalp micropigmentation, or SMP, the needle depth is a critical factor that influences the overall outcome, safety, and durability of the procedure. If the needle is too shallow, the pigment may not stay in place and could fade quickly, sometimes within weeks. This happens because the pigment isn't deposited into the right layer of the skin, mainly the upper part of the dermis called the papillary dermis. When the needle penetrates just the right amount, the pigment settles into this layer, creating stable, natural-looking dots that mimic hair follicles. On the other hand, if the needle goes too deep into the lower dermis, the pigment can spread out or diffuse, leading to blurry, uneven, or unnatural results. Over time, this can cause the pigment to change color or appear blotchy. The ideal needle depth for SMP usually ranges from about 0.5 millimeter to 1.5 millimeters, sometimes up to 2 millimeters depending on the person's scalp thickness. This is shallower than traditional tattooing, which often goes deeper than 2 millimeters. This shallower depth reduces the risk of bleeding, nerve injury, or excessive pigment migration, making the procedure safer and more controlled. Getting the needle depth right also affects how the pigment looks. When the needle is inserted at the correct depth and angle, it produces tiny, round dots that resemble natural hair follicles. If the depth is off, the dots can become elongated or irregular, making the results look less natural. Proper depth placement helps the pigment last about 4 to 6 years, with touch-ups needed as the pigment gradually fades. If the pigment is placed too shallowly, it may fade faster, requiring more frequent touch-ups. If it's too deep, there's a risk of pigment migration, which can distort the appearance over time. Safety is another key reason why needle depth matters. Because SMP needles only penetrate the upper layers of the skin, the procedure is minimally invasive. It avoids deeper blood vessels and nerves, reducing risks like bleeding, infection, or nerve injury. Achieving the right needle depth requires a skilled practitioner who can adjust the equipment and technique based on each person's scalp. This precision ensures the pigment is placed correctly, giving natural results while keeping the patient safe. In essence, needle depth in scalp micropigmentation is vital because it determines where the pigment is deposited, how natural it looks, how long it lasts, and how safe the procedure is. Proper technique and experience are essential to balance these factors and produce the best possible outcome. Always consult a trained and experienced professional for SMP treatments to ensure the needle depth is correctly set for your unique scalp and skin type.